Zakk, thank you so much for having us.
Yeah, give me a fist bump. Boom, there we go.
Andrea from Rock Freaks, representing Scandinavia. It's actually wild to have Zakk
No
Wylde.
pun intended. See, he must have had your coffee already this morning.
How does it feel to be back in Finland and you know, just touring and just generally taking the next step, let's say, for the band in 2026?
I think this is just the next episode. You know, if it was a TV show, if it was a cartoon series, it's the next cartoon, you know, or a comic book, you know, whether it's Spider-Man or Superman, you know, it's the next adventure. So, no, it's just, I'm real happy with the way the album, actually, I think with all the records, I'm always happy with the way they came out. You know, I think you have to look back, you know, years later, you look back on it and go, oh, this could have did this, or whatever, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
You know,
and also you're constantly active. You said it yourself previously, like you're constantly rolling, you're constantly creating. The ideas for new music are coming, and with this Engines of Demolition, I think, like compared to previous albums, doesn't it not feel like it's really a next step in terms of everything, musicianship, writing?
Well, this album was in the 3.5 years in the making, because, you know, with Pantera Celebration, we were just doing that for the last 3.5, almost 4 years.
Yeah.
So it's just there's no sense of putting a Black Label album out or anything out, because it's not going to get the TLC that you could give it, you know. So you can't tour behind it, you can't do anything behind it, because I was committed to doing Pantera Celebration with Phillips, Rex, and Charlie. So. You know, so in the meantime, it was just stockpiling songs until we're sitting here now.
Yeah.
So to me, it was no big deal. It was like, all right, we'll just keep writing songs, and to see when the dust settles, we'll see where we're at and what songs we want to put on the record. You know, so.
And also, it's, I think, such an important moment and momentum for the new album, and the song, the tribute that you did to Ozzy, especially after losing him. It's been quite a worldwide tidal wave of emotion that invaded us, and your emotion that you poured into the song. And tell me a little bit about that in light of your commitment and relationship and the past that you had. How does it feel right now to bring it to the public and really like make it a communion, make it like a heartfelt echo of those feelings? And
well, I think it's a beautiful testament to how much Ozzy, you know, how many people's lives he affected, which is pretty incredible. I mean, you know how people could say, like, you hear it, it's just like, well, you're only one person. How much of a difference can you make? And I mean, it's like a truly amazing. I mean, if I hadn't played with Oz, just the impact he had on my life as a musician. You know, just me listening to Sabbath records, then listening to them to Randy, and then Jake and Brad Gillis, and then just that impact on me alone. If I would have never been blessed with being in the band and knowing him. So, yeah, and then between how many people he affected musically with Sabbath and his solo stuff, and then with the TV show, how many people knew him that, you know, I remember Ozzy came up because he couldn't believe the impact of the show, just because people were like, oh yeah, the show, I think it's so hilarious. It's just like, me and my husband love watching the show. I think your wife's so funny and you're hilarious on it. And then Ozzy was like, yeah, my kids told me you do music too. Like, they didn't even know he did music, you know, so yeah. Ozzy was like, wow. But yeah, I think so many people loved him through all the things that he did, and he brightened their day and made you make somebody's life better just for that little moment in time. Yeah. Which is a beautiful thing. So I think that's worldwide. It was just how much he made people's lives better. Exactly. So, which is a beautiful testament to how awesome Ozzy is. Yes, I appreciate that, and thank you for the insights. And, you know, my next question, or a little bit of a comment actually, ties in exactly with this. Like, you've been working with so many eponymous artists, and you have been putting your signature alongside their signature in the music. When was the moment that you have kind of like had this awakening that you knew, wow, this is time for Zakk Wylde to do the Zakk Wylde thing. This is time for my, thing to really have that eureka moment. You're no longer just touring with the band or playing with a band or playing in support of an artist or touring with them. You're just, that's my moment. Well, I mean, when people ask me, they go, Zakk, do you have any advice for my son or my daughter, exactly. To do music or whatever? You have to play what you love and what moves you, and that's that. I'm just saying, like a simple example. I mean, it's just like, you can't tell the Black Crowes to be more like Soundgarden, because Soundgarden's really popular right now. The Black Crowes, all they have to worry about is making great Black Crowes records. You can't tell AC/DC to be more like the Sex Pistols, just because the Sex Pistols are really popular, or the Clash, because the Clash is really huge with London Calling when the single came out. It's like, but the AC/DC would be like, yeah, but we just wrote this song, Hell's Bells. You know, like, not that you have to be living under a rock, but I mean, the less, you just have to do what you love and be committed to it, and hopefully, you know, people like it, you know, so, but I mean, at least you know you're playing what moves you.
Right,
you know,
what
so
raises the hairs on your...
Yeah, if that's what you just do, and don't just listen to what you love and your instincts and what it is that moves you. You can't tell Green Day to sound more like Alice in Chains, because Alice in Chains is you know, super popular. They had this huge single out called Man in the Box. It's just like, and you're going to tell Green Day to be more like, they're like, yeah, but this is what we do.
Yeah.
You know, just be committed to what you do.
And you keep that unicity into every collaboration that you do, and that's why, like, your brand really stands the test of time, and you have built this absolute stellar, legendary career, decades spanning. And this ties in with my next point. You have always celebrated brotherhood. You know, we're talking about chapters, we're talking about communion and connection. This transpires also into your presence beyond the lives, and into how much of a wave you have created in the online. And right now I've been following very closely your latest tour highlights.
Well, I think, yeah, well, I know what you're saying, but I mean, because I always thought our next door, growing up, when I was, our next door neighbors in Jersey, the Smiths, they had 11 kids, 6 boys, 5 girls. And people always like, oh, were they Catholic? And actually they were. But the funny thing, the awesome thing that they used to do, the family get-togethers over there, because you have 11 kids in the family. So, and then the kids, you have 3 kids, I have 4 kids, and we're brothers and sisters, and you know, all our brothers and sisters have kids. Like the Christmases over there, and Easter, and Halloween, whatever it was, whatever thing they were selling, it was like, there was like 120 people at the house just because of all the family members. It was like, and cousins and whoever else was over there. It was like pretty awesome. And the backyard keg parties and barbecues they used to have on the side of the house, and the wiffle ball games and everything like that, and soccer games. It was like truly insane. So, but I remember Scott's older brother, Dougie, was a Deadhead, and you know, with the Grateful Dead.
Yeah.
And what I always thought was awesome, they'd have these get-togethers, these barbecues to go see the Grateful Dead. They'd have friends coming from Boston, friends coming from like South Carolina, friends coming from Philadelphia, and they'd all meet at Dougie's house in New Jersey, and then they would all go see the Dead up in Boston, and they'd go all the way over to like Cleveland, go see, you know, and then all the way back to Philadelphia. They would road trip it going to see the Dead. And what brought them all together was the Dead and the band. So the band is bigger than a band. It's this living, breathing thing.
Identity.
And it's this community that brought everybody together. So this way you have the UK, you know, the Black Label, the UK chapter, hooking up with the Boston chapter, and it's like, hey, Frank, I'm gonna come out, you know, me and Tommy are gonna come out, and we'll see you in Boston, and we'll hook up with the guys, and then we'll all go see, you know, we'll go see Black Label here and there, and we'll go down to New York, and then we'll go to that pizzeria that we were talking about. You know, so you actually make a road trip of it, and you have a good time. You see the band, but I mean, the band brought you together, but like, then you have friends that are part of your life now. So I think that's a beautiful thing.
It is, and it can be felt. Like I said, I'm always in awe when I see you like all masked and, you know, with the face paints and going out and doing your interlude whenever you're starting.
Getting the important things out of the way before the show, but the Ultimate Warrior stage walks.
But actually, tell me, how is your stage prep? Like whenever you hop on stage, you do have an impact straight off the bat, like with your attire and everything, but what makes you kind of like keep the groove on and keep the boogie? Because especially now in support of your latest album, it's super intense, like play, the riffs and everything. The energy is demanding.
No, I don't think anything's changed since I was
still the same mojo,
a little kid. You know, you do what you love, and every day is a blessing and a gift, and love life and live like a berserker. Everything's got to be all in.
Yeah.
You know, like with Dime and Vinny, everything was all in all the time. They lived like berserkers. Like every day, there were no bad days. Because I mean, we're all going to have bad days where you get knocked on the ground.
Absolutely.
And life does that to you. It's not a matter of when, it's a matter or if, it's a matter of when. So what are you going to do? You get knocked down, you dust yourself off, and you keep going, you keep moving forward. I mean, that's just life in general, and you conquer. That's what life is based on: strength and dominating. And why would you live any other way? Live like a lion and a berserker, and that's. But it's a truth.
Yeah.
You know, don't fear anything. Fear should fear you.
That's a good saying.
You bring the darkness and the domination.
I'm going to quote you on that.
It's the truth, though.
Absolutely.
But like, why would you want to live any other way? You live strong and you live brave.
I can feel the passion in your words, and I feel like every time right now you're stepping on stage, you're giving this inspiration to the generation. And you know, we're living quite unprecedented times in so many ways, and also in music. You've been living it all. The vinyl, the comeback, the MTV era, the everything. Right now everything's kind of coming back into style, and the young generation of people who are, and youngsters who are taking up the guitar, they're always kind of like turning back to the past and looking back at, you know, figures like you who have built the musicianship based on so much this intensity. What would be, you mentioned, an advice or a piece to the younger generation to seek into the music?
No, just follow your passion and your love, and like the ultimate warrior, you live life with intensity and passion. That's the only way to live. There is no other way to live.
And love your inspiration.
Yeah, and love, and whatever it is you have passion for, you love it, do it, go all in. And if anybody tells you you can't, go. But it's what I love, you know. I mean, like, I don't tell my kids whatever their love is and their passion is, do that. That's what you should. Just because I love music and I love playing guitar and singing, playing piano. That's my book and that's my movie. So whatever it is that you want to do it, and don't look back. Just go all in, and if you love it, go for it.
What are your biggest, not expectations, but what do you want to bring to the Helsinki Metal Fest stage tonight?
A lot of dancing, you know, and because J-Lo and Shakira are my other huge influences aside of
something new to share.
Yes, inside of Frank Marino and Randy Rhoads and Tony Iommi and Jimmy Page, Shakira and J-Lo are right there in that soup of influence and domination.
Love it. I want to see you dance, and I want to see.
Oh, you'll be seeing it tonight,
guitar.
you know, with my kilt getting on.
Absolutely.
That's the reason why I wear the kilt, so it shows off my legs, so this way it draws attention to the dancing.
I think Shakira would be envious.
I'm not as good as Shakira and J-Lo, but I do attempt it.
I'm very happy to have had you tonight, Zakk. This is like a really feel-good way of actually bringing you closer, and especially since we're doing these conversations, not in the typical fashion of, yet another pleasantry, yet another, how do you prep for your, how many push-ups do you do, how much oil do you put in your beard, it's not about that. I think what we really believe here in our little scene here in Europe is that we do it for passion, and I really resonate with what you're saying, and I can't wait to shoot you tonight in the pit and see the people.
8 o'clock, game on.
8 o'clock, game on, and see you all in Helsinki Metal Fest tonight.
See you guys in a little bit.